What's up, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Squawk AC's podcast, your favorite Pokemon podcast, your favorite Pokemon podcast. My name is Kyle Cooper Rios, and let me be the last one to wish you guys a belated Pokemon Day. We got a lot of fun announcements across a variety of different Pokemon avenues, be it both animation, trading card games, video games, and so on and so forth, and mobile apps if you're into that sort of thing. We're going to talk about most of it, not all of it, because some of it sucks, and we'll save it for that. We got some local wrap-ups to talk about, and the friend group is now one air fryer richer, and we'll talk about that in detail as we get there, as I bring in my panel. I'll start by welcoming in the Pony Bottle Champ. I had something, and then I lost it. This is George. Hi, George.
Hi.
And joining us once again, because we needed a veteran's perspective because a certain archetype of cards are coming back to the TCG, and we need to bring in an old head, as the kids say, who's been around long enough to have played through what some would consider to be some of the worst eras of Pokemon. It's Brad Brown back on the show. Brad Brown.
Hey guys, thanks for having me back.
I gotta say that is my favorite of the of like the, if you look at like the Squawk group chat iceberg, like just like screaming Brad's name in all capital letters is truly
Brad Brown.
one of my favorite things.
And
it will be Brad Brown in all caps on the lower third as well. So don't think I'm not sticking with that. Yes, we got some stuff to cover here, boys. But I'll start by asking how I usually start my weeks. I'll start with Brad because he's the guest in the house this week again. Brad, how is your Tuesday? You just got back from Disney, so how are you feeling?
Feeling a little sunburnt, but pretty good. It was nice to get away and not work for a week and be in Disney and do all the fun things. Work today was a little rough after a week away, but you know what? Life is good after vacation, so we're doing pretty good today.
Was this your first day back to work since you got one on vacation?
Literally, we flew in last night, and I went right to work today, so it was a lot of fun.
I'm the worst at doing that too. I always never schedule that rest day once I get back from vacation to I just immediately jump back into work. And as I've gotten older, I realize I am much slower up the rebound, and that hurts. So
vacation from a vacation is sometimes much needed.
Yeah. I hope you were heavily caffeinated today. So,
oh yeah.
Georgie, how you doing, pal? How's it hanging?
Oh man, I'm in a weird mood today, bro. I'm in a weird mood today.
Somebody didn't drink their apple juice this morning, I think. So.
I actually was out in the fields with a friend of the podcast, also former guest, new employee of George Fabre Inc., Omar Taha.
Oh, that's right. I forgot. Omar is one of your. Where does he fall into? If you're Tony Soprano, like what character in The Sopranos is Omar right now?
I never watched The Sopranos. I have no idea.
Oh my god!
Oh man!
I'm what?
He's got to be Christopher, right?
Christopher, sure. Let's go with Christopher.
I think right now he might be the Italian guy that drives the car. Right now. Omar's gonna have to kill a few more people before he becomes Christopher. So
yeah, he's gonna have to sell a few deals. But no, it was good. It was good out there. He actually did very well. So I'm proud of him. But no, other than that, man, I'm cool. Work is just work, and I'm tired. I'm very tired, but I'm happy to be here with y'all. So let's get after it.
Yeah, we got to get the road dogs. That's like a hang with the road dogs to get everyone, back in the spirit of things. You've never seen The Sopranos? I still can't. I'm still so hung up on that.
You know what it is, bro? You know what it is? I was I didn't watch it the first go around or the second go around when it was all coming out, and then I knew what happened, and I'm just I just never.
But it's about the journey, not the end.
Yeah. So I hear, but no.
Especially because it's maybe not so much for Brad because you're a little bit farther south than we are, but the Sopranos is the fun of watching it as someone that lives in the area in which the show is shot in is you can see all the locales
right down the street from my house.
That's where
the house is in North Caldwell, literally right down the street.
Yeah, it's crazy. There's a whole season of the show is filmed where I went to high school in Boonton, New Jersey. It is super sick. They try to sell it off like it's Connecticut. I see right through the ruse because it's not Connecticut. It's really right where Highlander is. So.
Listen, so at the end of the day, I guess we could just conclude this segment with I'm a piece of shit.
George's self-deprecating top to the show, but we were able to get George to catch up on this week's episode of Severance.
Severance, brother.
Brad, are you a Severance head?
Not yet. I'm finally finishing my Naruto rewatch, so I can be liberated to watch other things.
So you're free to watch anything else?
Now I can watch. I finally caught up on Solo Leveling, so I just watched the entire second season. Just got through this week's episode. Blew through that because that show is incredible.
I keep hearing good things. I gotta sit down and watch that.
And it's the same thing for me with Severance. I'm very interested. I want to watch. I want to see what it's all about, but I just haven't put the time in yet. I will.
Yeah, it's a great show. I'm 10 out of 10. I spent my my week at work so far has been fine. It's been a weird it's been a weird escape in the work world for me. George knows what I'm talking about, but it's been strange. That being said, I'm doing pretty good. I spent my weekend catching up on The White Lotus, so that's what I did this past weekend.
That's a new season's out, right?
The new season came out a couple weeks ago. Yeah, I actually hadn't seen the second season yet, so I was like mega behind. So
the second season's in
Italy.
The Amalfi Coast, right?
Yeah, and bringing it right back to The Sopranos. Michael Imperioli plays a big part in that season.
But nothing will ever be better than season 1 of White Lotus with Sydney Sweeney and what's her name? Alexandra.
The chick from True Detective that Woody Harrelson sleeps with. Yeah,
I mean, just wow.
Yeah,
wow. Yeah.
Must see TV.
Hubba.
Awooga.
Yeah.
No, it's good. The White Lotus is pretty sick. I'm finally at a space in my life where like I'm such a doer. I like need to constantly be doing something that I keep myself busy a lot. So now that I have all this downtime, I don't know what to do with myself. So I've finally been able to sit down and watch and catch up on the TV that I've so desperately wanted to watch.
Nice.
So that's fun. But yeah, that's enough of our not Pokemon talk. Let's talk about some cardboard. This is the most excited I've been to wrap up the local stuff in a while for many reasons. Number one, me and George went to a challenge on Friday. It was fine. I played Goldango and I bricked. I came in 6th place out of like 20 something people. It's fine. I beat up on 3 Dragapult decks and then I lost because my deck didn't work. So in one of my games, I prized 3 Gimme Ghouls after starting double Buddy Poffin in my hand. So here I am, acting like, oh yeah, I feel great. Like I'm gonna get a really strong start with a deck that's pretty dependent on how well you start. And then I look through my prize cards I looked through my deck 3 times, and I'm like, yeah, no, there's only one Gimme Ghoul in here, pal. Hard to win games like that. And of course, it was against like Arceus Firebox, which is like a matchup I probably lose if I don't go first anyway. So it was awkward. And then I paired into a friend of the podcast, Nick, in a Goldango mirror at table 1 in the last round, and I mega bricked again. So just I missed Arvin. I had Pokegear in my hand, turn 1 going second. Missed Arvin, so I didn't really get a chance to set my board up. But say la vie. Georgie, how'd your Friday go?
Well, you see, game 1, they put me on stream. And,
you played Charizard for the
Charizard,
people.
yeah. Oh, yeah, of course.
You played your USC list.
Yeah. And guess what I forgot to do? Put out prizes.
Yeah. This Friday was like really bad for like prize penalties. There was some like to the point where like Rob had to like make an announcement in between rounds being like, guys,
get your
shit together. Lock the fuck in. Like he was just like there was a lot of silly mistakes being had. I sat next to like a couple of double prize penalties of just like
oof.
It's just a lot of starch in those potatoes.
George, it's okay. One of my, it wasn't even my first cup. One cup that I did the first round. when I was going for my invite, I didn't put my prizes out, and the judge was like basically like Rob is to you guys. Nancy came over to me and was just like, Brad, like you come to my league every single week. What are you doing? So it happens. It happens to the best of us.
And then, I went 3-0 after that. And then round 5 got paired into Andrew, and he's a cheater like we know. So, I lost.
But yeah, so that's that. And Andrew is a cheater. However, the two of you cheated your way into what possibly might be the best story of the weekend. And I'm going to set the table here for a bit. So I got reached out to by one of my friends in the Pokemon scene. Shout out to Bella, aka the Oatmeal Girlie. She's a judge out in the New York area. And she was like, hey, one of the local judges, Jeremy, who judges at Bifrost in Manhattan, she was like, hey, it was just Jeremy's birthday. This weekend we're doing a 3v3 style tournament, but it's post-rotation decks. And obviously for the lot of us, for you guys who are going to Atlanta, and me who's not going to anything for a while, this format is chalked for me. I don't really care. So we're all playing post-rotation anyway. And she was like, hey, you and some of your New Jersey guys should come on by, because me and George have been to Bifrost before. It's a great shop. So it's usually a fun little trip. And I wasn't able to go this weekend, but I was like, oh, I mentioned it to the group chat. So George, Andrew, and Harrell last second decided to go to this tournament. And the winner of this 3v3 tournament would receive an air fryer. And lo and behold, Harrell is now 2-0 when going to Bifrost stuff. But this time he was definitely dragged to the end because, George, you guys won an air fryer this weekend. You want to talk about your weekend?
Yeah, so actually, funny enough, I got paired into Bella round 1. She was playing Guardy. I was playing Enzorark. That matchup is very free. And then I played round 2, another Gardevoir, and that matchup is very free. And then round 3, I got paired into another Gardevoir. Guess what? That matchup wasn't that free. That player's very good. This guy, I've seen him at a lot of the New York tournaments. He made me sweat. And also it was like really a cool dynamic because their team they're all very good players. I don't really know their names, but you can actually help each other during the tournament because it's 3v3. So like we're the last game. Harrell loses the mirror because he stinks and he went 1-3 in the tournament. Didn't contribute shit the whole time. And he's probably keeping the fucking air fryer. But Andrew wins. He beats Walls, right? And like this is the game. Like, all right, if we win this, we probably win the whole damn thing because like we're probably the top 2 teams there. I mean, don't get me wrong. The last game that we played, they were also very good. I don't want to discredit them either. But long story short, everybody's looking at this game in the whole fucking store. And I'm like sitting there, I'm like, damn, dude, this guy's making me sweat. It comes down to it. I need 1 prize left. He needs 3. I go attach to Petrot, and that pretty much sealed the game. When he saw that, he was like, damn, I don't think there's anything I could do this. I had 3 Zoroarks set up. He's like, this guy's going to see, 10 cards no matter what next turn. Plus Fez, like it was just busted. So I ended up winning, went 3-0 versus Guardies. And then my round 4, I'm looking at Harrell, and I'm like, dude, I Arvin turn 2. I'm like, I prized Charlie. This is bad. He's like, well, you got to go buddy puff. And I'm like, no, I got 1 Zorua. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go Nest Ball for Darmaka. And I had in hand, did I say that guy's name right? I probably didn't.
You did, yeah.
I did?
It's the Darumaka. Darumaka is the basic.
Whatever.
Yeah,
So
it's the second one we have to work on still. So
yeah, Darmanitan. Darmanitan. I have that in hand with reversal, and I have Badu inactive. So I go Nest Ball Defiance Band. I show him the Defiance Band. He's playing Espathra Frostlass with Monkey Dory, which is definitely a bad matchup for me because Espathra 1 shots and Zoroark for 1 energy.
That's because it's
because you need 3 on the end Zoroark, right? So he actually goes. I Itchy Pollen him 3 turns in a row. He ends evolving to Frostlass, puts up Monkey Dory. Monkey Dory's off the Frost Last to put the damage on Zorua, bosses it, knocks it out. I go, okay, promote Itchy Pollen, Badu. And then I go reversal, Darmantian, whatchamacallit, Defiance Band, knock out both of them for the game. Like, and then Hurl's like, dude, you're actually busted. He's like, how did you see that line? I was like, I told you, bro. Like, it's not worth it to go triple Zorua here. Like, we just have game if he takes the bait. So that pretty much won us the tournament. So
nice,
big brain.
Good stuff, George.
Wow. Yeah, listen, that's we all poke fun at each other at each other's expense sometimes, but yeah, listen, you saw a line there that was that I wouldn't have even thought about. It's going to be interesting to see how that deck performs without any bench barrier right now. That cards like that, like spread decks, are going to be really, really good. So
well, Brad and I were playing last night. It's definitely got a bad matchup into Bolt, but we had some interesting.
That's probably
games.
A bad one, yeah.
I think it depends on a lot. I do think that the RNG was in Bolt's favor last night. I think there is a lot that favors and Zoroark in terms of controlling what Bolt can do to get the cards that it wants, like immediately. It has to go, based on old Bolt without owls. Because if you're forcing Bolt to not use the owls, that puts Bolt on the back foot, I think.
Yeah, and then we had that one really long game where I just Itchy Pollen locked you.
Yeah, the Itchy Pollen lockout was crazy at the end because all the energy was in discard and on Pokemon, and I was screwed with a Noctowl. So he just pulled the Noctowl up and into the active, and I was like, wow, that was a good line. And the only way for me to retreat was to manually attach energy. There's no energy left in deck. And I think my other boss was prized or something was prized. It was a very one-off game, I think, but a very reasonable line to go for an out for a win.
Right, because you can't, if you're item locked, you can't go energy retrieval or stretcher, right? So
yep,
yeah.
Once you kind of notice that, like, listen, this is what I'll say about this new post rotation format that I've noticed. One, like you said, Kyle, no bench barrier is huge. So Ogerpon and Darmanitan.
Damn
it. I'll never get it.
Eventually. We'll get there eventually.
All right, here, let's listen to me. Repeat that to me. Dar. Man. E. Tan.
I don't know why I want to say Darmanitan, though.
I can't answer that for you.
Yeah, I don't know.
Only you and God know the answer to that one.
Darmanitan.
Darmanitan.
That motherfucking Mantan. But anyway, those two cards right now, especially early game, if you could set it up, I think that's why, like, you alluded to earlier, Ogerpon box is pretty good because you can energy switch into, Torrential Pump, which if you can knock out Noctowls, knocking out Noctowls in this format is how you win. So it seems very obvious, but until you really think about it, like, you got to play decks with that. And that's why also last night I was playing a build with Zard with Water Pond, which everybody told me was crazy months ago. And now over here in Japan, people are playing it. I don't know, guys. I mean, listen, me and Brad were talking about this last night. Everybody hates change. No one likes to hear of anything new, right? He gave me a whole spiel. He was like, "Don't worry about it, George. You're a genius. We all know it." So he hyped me back up. But at the end of the day, like, listen, Zard playing a water Pokemon sounds weird, but if I can evolve into Zard, put 2 energy on there, and then use Crystal or attach for water and use Torrential Pump early game, getting the prize race at 2-2-2 with Charizard on the bench is kind of busted. So
bench sniping is good right now. So we're gonna take advantage before that Shaman comes in.
Yeah, that we'll talk about that when we get to the actual card part of stuff. But also to touch on quickly what Andrew played. Andrew played Mamoswine, which is what pet deck he's been working on. I'm still, like, jury's out in my opinion on, like, how good that deck actually is. But, like, watching it perform, like, especially the way that Andrew kind of built it. I don't know if he was, like, building off of something already, but in a format where it feels like it's good to go first again for certain decks, like Bolt's a deck that's going to want to go first now. Decks like Zoroark are going to want to go first because you obviously want to.
No. You want to go second. You want to go.
But I don't think going first is the worst for you either.
Well, you want to go
in certain
Arvin and go Evo, and same thing with Mammoth Swan.
That's I guess that makes sense. I forgot that you played Trolley
Evo. Yeah, Trolley Evo right now in this post rotation format is absolutely broken. So
yeah, which is exactly the strategy that Andrew is leaning into. So.
And I think to Kyle's point, it's not as bad to go first right now as it was in the prior formats, which I would agree with.
Unless you're going against Bolt.
True.
In which, good luck and Godspeed. You're probably losing anyway. But yeah, Andrew rocked a Mammoth Swine deck. It's interesting. I will say that at the very least. And you guys want an air fryer. That is that is so sick. That is so funny.
Honestly, I just love what they did to the box.
The fact that they put like a Play Pokemon stamp on it is very
Pokemon
funny.
Sticker on there with like the sticker says like Bifrost 3v3 tournament. Like it's a trophy. It really is a trophy. It's sick.
Now the question that we're all trying to know the answer to is how is the custody going to work for this? So like you guys, when it became evident that that the reality was setting in that you're leaving with an air fryer, at what point did you guys have the discussion of who gets to keep the kid?
I mean, I have a Ninja air fryer at my house, so I don't really need an air fryer. And then Andrew lives with his parents, so I'm sure he doesn't need one either. So yeah, the bastard that did nothing all day gets to keep
it. Harrell freeloaded his way into a free air fryer
and $150 store credit. Don't forget.
The rich get richer, man.
He just kept saying, he's like, I can't believe I got $150 store credit for doing absolutely nothing today.
It's like those memes of like watching like Mario Kart clips of like Luigi winning by doing absolutely nothing or something like that. Like, God, that's so funny.
What happens when your friends go 4-0 each and you just lay back and relax?
Yeah, you picked him up by his legs, and Andrew picked him up by his arms, and you're just like carried him.
He played 3 mirrors too of like Ogre Pond or
oh God.
Yeah, or what are they calling it now?
Ogre Box?
Terrabox.
Terrabox. Okay.
Terrabox, there you go. Yeah, because you play the teal mask, and I think you play.
Is there a turtle in there too?
Yeah,
there's a Clefairy, I know.
You play the Pikachu. I think some decks play the
turtle.
The Pikachu. So yeah. So it's interesting. It's a fun deck. I think the people that like Lost Box are gonna like gravitate to a deck like that. It's a lot of moving pieces, a lot of very scenario specific attackers that you're gonna have to lean into. So good for Harrell. He just moved into a new place and he gets a new air fryer for doing absolutely nothing to show for it. So
that's our home warming gift for him.
That's our world's representative, man. He should take it with him to the worlds once he gets.
But I think we're gonna put the box with it in whatchamacallit, in Highlander.
Yeah,
nice.
We should
bring back to the home store. You know?
There you go.
Just hanging from the rafters. That is so funny. Well, congratulations to you guys. That was awesome. We love a feel good story, especially on something that happened at quite the last second. So we're glad it all came together. And Harrell got his and not only did Harrell get an air fryer and a $150 store credit for doing the bare minimum, but rewind a few months ago, Harrell won a cup at Bifrost in which he didn't get his championship mat yet. It was during the quarter where the championship mat he would have gotten is Lapras. And I think they didn't like have the Lapras mat, or like they ran out of them or something like that. So Harrell gets his championship mat and it's the Pikachu mat. So he lucked out again. This guy can't miss.
What a beast. What a beast.
What a loser. But it's why we love him. So yeah, good on you guys. That's fun. That was a great feel-good story of the week. I love that. So hopefully,
just such a cool format too, though, the 3v3.
Yeah, I like that a lot
because you have to be like A, B, C, and here's the kicker with everything, right? Like everybody like sees everybody's decks towards the end, so they're like Jeremy would always ask us. He's like, "Do you guys want to change your thing?" We're like, "Nah, we just sat down and order A, B, C, all 4 rounds." So like these players are like putting their like they were like matching up against us, and then we just still kept winning.
They're counterpicking you guys.
Yeah, and we just were like, nah, it's all right. We'll just sit down.
So. Itchy pollen.
Love it.
Itchy pollen.
Itchy pollen.
Itchy pollen.
It's so itchy.
I was itchy pollen a lot. So
love that for you guys. And now that brings us to the next part of our conversation, which I think is going to take up the bulk of our conversation today. And then we're going to get into our Squawk and Seas for today. Everyone's favorite this or that question game. So Pokemon Day was this past Thursday. Pokemon celebrated it was the 29th anniversary of the day that Pokemon Red and Green released in Japan. Every year for the last few years of Pokemon Day, they've done a Pokemon Day Direct. So usually we expect some pretty sizable announcements across all encompassing pieces of Pokemon, because I feel like it does not get stated enough that, like, you know, we represent a very small part of the Pokemon community. Pokemon is a billion-dollar multimedia corporation, so there's a lot of mouths that need to be filled here. And we'll just kind of touch on, obviously, the things that are kind of more important to us, but they did show a lot of stuff. There's a new pocket set coming out featuring Arceus, which is really cool. Pokemon Concierge, which is a great stop-motion Netflix series, is getting a second season, which will debut in September. You can also watch I believe until like next week, you can watch the first few episodes for free on our YouTube channel. If you're into stop-motion animation, it's really comfy stuff. It's honestly a very fun watch. Pokemon Unite's getting a few more characters. You're getting Suicune, Alcremie for some reason, and Alola Raichu, which is fun. Pokemon Go is getting some. I think they're getting both the Urshifus in that game. Whatever, if you're into that sort of thing. I think the two biggest announcements, at least for like the scope of that we take up. Oh, also not talking about Pokemon Legends ZA getting like a reveal. So that was cool. We get some official an official look at that.
Wait, can we just talk about real quick, like all the shade that Cyndaquil's getting?
It's kind of crazy. Well, I don't think George knows the lore of what happened with Typhlosion and why Typhlosion is no longer canceled. But I mean, it's obvious the reason they're doing this is because they used Cyndaquil as a starter the last time they did this.
Right.
I don't know why they're using two Johto starters personally.
That doesn't make any sense to me.
And I'm not trying to. For those of you that aren't paying attention, the starters for Legends ZA got revealed. It's Chikorita, Totodile, and Tepig. So it's like, I'm not trying to slander Chikorita, but like clearly Chikorita might be the odd, or maybe you slander Totodile. I don't know, like, but Totodile's like, you know, it's hard to not like Totodile. He's a fan favorite Pokemon for a reason. Chikorita gets a lot of hate. Some of it I feel like is very forced, but it's just very jarring that they picked two Johto starters when there's like, you know, I don't want to say great options for grass type Pokemon that don't exist. And I feel like they were kind of maybe pigeonholed a little bit of which ones they can choose, because obviously Mega Evolution is going to play a big part in this game. So I feel like these new starters we're going to get Mega Evolutions of these guys. So that eliminates like a handful of options you can use, but there's still other options you could have gone with. So I don't quite understand.
Yeah, it's very confusing, but we'll see. Because I think that they had a theme for Pokemon Arceus, right? With the Rowlet, Cyndaquil, and Oshawott. There was like some, like their final evolutions were some historical. There was some historical connection between the types of fighters that they were.
Yeah, that's something that it was something to do with like how the game is like set in like, you know, feudal Japan, or like, you know, whatever the how the Hisuian region looks aesthetically. So I hope we maybe get some new like Colossian versions of Pokemon too on top of Mega Evolutions. I think the regional variants would be fun to see, but the game looks interesting. I'm an X and Y enjoyer. I think those games are criminally slept on. You know, they're a lot of fun. It's going to be fun to explore Lumio City in a big, exciting way, and I'm very excited to deep dive into that. So
X and Y is what brought me back from not playing Pokemon. I took a break as a teenager, college student, where I was like, I'm too cool for Pokemon, and I didn't play for Black and White. And then X and Y came out. I was like, oh, I'll dabble. I'll come back.
No, then, I'm not cool enough. Actually.
Yeah, I'm like, nah, I'm not cool at all. We're playing Pokemon.
X and Y is what got me to buy a 3DS, so I'm in the same boat as you.
Yeah, I never played either one, but I will say, Can't wait to spend money on this game just for me to never complete it or play it for 2 days and just look at it.
I'm excited to
I'm very
dive
excited.
deep, and I'm excited to see the Mega Evolutions again. Now it looks
That's my
like
favorite part.
yeah, I think and it looks like I'm assuming they're only going to focus on the Mega Evolutions that like I don't think we saw any of the ones that came out in Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire. I think they only showed the ones that came out in X and Y.
I think so.
I didn't see. Yeah, there's no obviously there's like no Mega Sceptile or no Mega Glalie or Mega Sableye. At least I don't think I didn't see any. If I'm correct in that, I only
I
watched
think
the
you're
trailer
correct
once.
in that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was be fun. That's obviously one of the most exciting things. Pokemon Champions, I think, is the other exciting thing that nobody knows what the heck it actually is, but it shows it looks like it's in the vein of like a Pokemon Battle Revolution, Pokemon Stadium battle simulator that also you can play through your phone, which is very interesting and a space that Pokemon hasn't gone to before. So I don't know if you guys have any thoughts on what this could possibly mean for the future of competitive Pokemon battling.
I'm very curious to see how it shapes that landscape. If it is something that's used in a streaming platform way to move past Showdown, so that that's no longer the main platform for people to test for regionals on, since that seems to be what's used widely. And even at regionals, a lot of the VGC players are playing Showdown on their phone. So if they're trying to get that the player base and have something for everyone to use that helps with that is Pokemon branded and just gets their platform in the eyes of the people everywhere, rather than a, a website somewhere that is not affiliated with them. It'd be very interesting to see if that's what their angle is here. Um, but I'm super interested in it. Looks fun. I'll definitely be dabbling at the very least.
George, you got any big picture thoughts here?
Nope.
I think it's interesting. I watched Mr. Wolf Glick's YouTube video on this, in which he explained his thoughts. Obviously, one of the best Pokemon players on planet Earth. Um, and he basically explained how I think the way that the battling system looks in like the Legends game might have affected how the battling why Pokemon was just making a strict battle simulator, because if this is what their next Pokemon game is going to be, obviously the way that the battling works in Legends in the Legend series is very different. You have
Mm-hmm.
at least in Legends Arceus, your Pokemon will still be statically battling each other, but you can move around the terrain in a way that you weren't able to do before. And now in this game, you can just have complete control of your Pokemon, and it's like a JRPG, like a Final Fantasy style fighting game where like your moves are attached to buttons with cooldown, which I think is really cool. I think that's a fun step for Pokemon to take, but I think you cannot alienate the competitive community just to cater to like the more casual community, because the competitive community is what Pokemon really markets their games to after the initial hype died down. So I think, okay, why not just give people a battle simulator game, in the vein of like a stadium battle revolution style. So that way that you can push competitive stuff in a separate scope and cater to both of your markets at the same time, which I
Yeah.
think is very interesting to look at.
I think like ultimately the one thing I'll say is like I think the way of just video games in general, like I don't play a ton of them, but the way that they're kind of evolved in 2025 and as they keep going beyond, you can't just have like a fight that's single button like like that's I just don't think future generations are going to be excited to play that. They're not going to understand it, at least. I think
Yeah.
that's kind of more so what I'm getting at. Like we're still in a time now where a lot of people that play it remember like the earlier, like you guys were talking about X and Y. I know like Gen 3 was like really big. I only played up to Gen 2. I'm old, but then I started again playing what, Gen 8 or Gen 7, Alolan region,
Yep.
whatever that, like 7.
Gen 7.
Yeah. So, I think the days of having that kind of 2D um, aspect to the games kind of aren't going to intrigue new players as like kids, that are ages 7, 6, up to like 10 years old, they're not going to want to play those games.
I think that's a really good point to kind of hop off that and to use some personal experience with playing League and League of Legends and seeing where Riot Games has taken all of their broadcasts and their competitive scene with how interactive a lot of the movements and every second matters, every fight matters, every position matters. With their 5v5, if you're going to take something like that and you're going to try and correlate it to look how many views, how many people are watching that concurrently, as well as how many people play around the entire world. If you're trying to scale to that level to get people to watch your game at that level, then it only makes sense to try and mimic it in some way and to be able to give them the freedom of moving around and having different angles and different positions of how you're fighting. That very well could be the next wave in terms of what we see competitive morph into for Pokemon. And just be more interesting and more, not necessarily like Unite, but definitely very interesting in a 1v1 setting for Pokemon like that.
It also
Yeah.
might evolve into another competitive scene as well.
Yeah.
With that
Yep.
kind of battling. Maybe not like in the upcoming years, but like down the road, years from now.
Yeah. It could be like a pocket to like TCG Live sort of thing. Like you can have these competitive battles within the legend style of battling, but your main focus you can push champions as like, hey, like this is where all the competitive players, if you want to, if you like EV training, if you like what Pokemon is, which is static 2v2 doubles at its highest level, you can also cater that audience at the same time. And honestly, I think like the dynamic battling change is good. I think I think Pokemon gets kind of a bad rap sometimes as like a Fisher Price RPG. Which again, granted, it's like Pokemon's not hard. Like if I wanted to play an RPG to make my brain hurt, I'd play Persona, or I'd play like Shin Megami Tensei. Like there's games I can go to do that. I don't play Pokemon because it's easy. I play Pokemon because Pikachu is cute. So like I think, and I think taking those steps to kind of take from a more dynamic RP, a more dynamic battle styling, taking advantage of the hardware that this game's going to be on, assuming that the Switch 2 is out by the time this game comes out, I think you can take advantage of, those sort of things. So it'll be fun to watch. I think it's a smart business decision. It's going to make $1 bajillion anyway, so like why not make $1 bajillion $2? But
And I think the interesting evolution in terms of something that I've seen from being at regionals, watching them go from Pokken to Unite as the third iteration of games that they have at a competitive level, to see if maybe we get something different, if it's going to evolve further than that, or if it maybe even is a fourth game and they keep Unite, to have the team aspect of it and also have an individual aspect of it. So it's really interesting to see how things continue to evolve, especially when the CEO says that Pokemon's going to last for the next 50 to 100 years.
we're gonna be sitting in a retirement home, eating cream of wheat and listening to George still not be able to pronounce Darmanitan correctly. So
Darmanitan.
Hey, you did it.
All right, Grandpa. You're gonna be like a head in a jar, like in Futurama. You're still not gonna be able to pronounce it properly. So
yeah, I had the Darman Cannon tag.
That is the attack name, though, and at least the Japanese version, Darmanican. That goes hard.
Darmanican, that's sick, actually.
That goes stupid. Yeah, that's takes care of all that part of the stuff. I think we should talk about what we obviously all paid attention to. That we got, and I didn't think we'd get any like big TCG stuff because we're still like a couple of sets behind. Like obviously Japan's going to be getting their next wave of cards this month with Heatwave Arena. They still have the Team Rocket cards coming out in April, which are going to be part of our May set. We still haven't even gotten the rotation cards yet. So I didn't really think they were going to touch much on like the TCG stuff. And then they drop a bomb on us that they confirmed what we already knew was probably coming, but probably not in the way you thought. Mega Evolutions are returning to the Pokemon TCG with a bit of a twist. Previously, Mega Evolutions were evolutions that evolved from your 2-prize basic EX Pokemon that remain 2-prizers. As that's the main function, and then evolving them ends your turn. Now they seem more like proper big evolution Pokemon that they've only revealed 2, Mega Lucario EX, Mega Gardevoir EX. Lucario evolves from the Riolu as a stage 1 with 340 HP. A new record for a stage 1 Pokemon. And Mega Gardevoir EX evolves from Kirlia as a stage 2 Pokemon with 360 HP, the highest HP we've ever seen on a Pokemon so far. And all that is cool. Aesthetically, it's cool to see Megas back. Weird that they evolved the way that they do. The thing that everyone's talking about is that they're now bringing back 3 prize Pokemon as the Mega Evolutions, or 3 prizers, which brings me to why I wanted to have Brad on here, because Brad is a veteran of many TCG formats. Brad's played through tag teams. You've played through. I don't know. Did you play through the original Mega Evolutions? Did you play back then when those were?
I did not play back. I started to dabble in the game when they were out, and me and my brother have a couple of those cards, but I never played competitively when they were out. And I'm pretty sure Guardy was actually good in that format too, if I heard correctly.
I think like they said, a Pokemon's going to be around for 50 to 100 more years. I think Gardevoir is going to be good for another 50 to 100 years. I think Gardevoir must owe someone like deep amounts of money in the mafia or something. That's why he keeps getting playable cards. But yeah, so Megas in this capacity are back. So I'll get George. You've played, but I'd say you're still around like in a new age player like I am that didn't have to play through tag teams, only really had to play through Mew VMAX and such. So I want to get your thoughts first on like how you feel off the rip with Mega Evolutions.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. Everybody keeps going back to like tag teams, but I don't think this is like so. All right, this is why it's different, because a lot of them are stage like 2 Pokemon, or like in Lucario for a sense, like you can knock out Riolu really easily. You know what I mean? So it's not like it's different than the tag teams. Tag teams was really messed up because it's one basic card that was 3 prizes. That's what like so it's not the same. You know what I mean? Like it's a lot different in that sense. VMAXs also were messed up because the basic was also like 200 plus HP in most cases. This is different. Like it's a non-rule box, probably low HP, under 100 that they evolve from. So I don't know. I think what everybody's afraid of is how fast games are going to go. And that's like the big issue. Okay, sure. Like going 3-3 in a game is bad, but I don't think they're going to be played like. All right, so hear me out on this. Right, they're going to exist in a format that trainers Pokemon are going to exist, and then regular EX are going to exist, and Terras are probably going to exist. So like, there's still like so many different mechanics in there that like I don't really truly believe that it's going to be like tag team or VMAXs where they're just going to rule, because that's the other thing too. When VMAXs were kicking ass, then they brought in V Stars that were worth 2 prizes and arguably were better than a lot of the VMAXs as V Stars because of the ability. But you could play them together. So I can see a world where, like obviously we saw Lucario and Guardy, but like there's going to be a world where Guardy's going to be completely broken with, the Mega EX plus, Guardy EX, where I can attach everything with Guardy EX, and then the Mega EX does, I think, 50 damage for every Pokemon has 1 energy attached to it. So I can have a full board of all Psychic, and then play Moonlight Hill, and then heal everything, and then attack with Guardy EX, Mega Guardy EX. That seems a little busted. Like that to me is like more like that's far more crazier than it being 3 prizes. So I don't know. I'm not really worried about the 3 prize thing as much as everybody else is.
I wish I was as optimistic as you, George, because I completely agree in terms of the counter mechanic of it's not a basic. You can go after the smaller Pokemon, the pre-evolution, before it turns into a Mega. The problem is that these cards, because they're 3 prizes, that means that they have to do more in order to justify playing them for the liability that they give up in 3 prizes. So this is what happened when tag teams came out the first time. When Pikachu Zekrom, wow, I can't speak. When that card was first revealed, 240 HP, big basic, snipes the bench. It was just nuts, bonkers. And you're like, okay, this justifies why it plays 3 cards. It doesn't seem too bad. It's giving up 3 prizes. It's a liability at 240 HP. Okay, cool. Seems kind of balanced. And that's kind of how Gardevoir and Lucario seem right now in their mega forms. The problem is that you have to continue to get better. So in order to entice people to continue to play a game, the mechanics of the new cards have to be enticing and appealing for players to be able to say, ooh, that sounds fun, reel me back in, let me play again. Which means that the power level has to continue to increase. And if you look at the HP on these cards, they haven't gone down. Like,
No.
Pikachu Zepgron came out, what was this, 2018, 19?
2018, 19.
And that was a 240 big basic, and that gives up 3 prizes. Now we're at, what are these, 360 and 340 HP? It's just going to keep going up. We don't come back down. And the benefit that Pokemon has is that it has rotation.
Sure.
So that every 2 years, these cards can cycle out, and you can refresh things. Like, I'm very much looking forward to post-rotation because it's incredibly refreshing. Like, everything is, you lose all the stuff that's been staples that have been super strong, and the whole meta is shaken up. Everything is new. And that's what's fun about newer formats, is that everything is different. You can test things, and it's not the same old stale stuff. But when you start to move forward in these mechanics, so with tag teams, they moved on to Mew and Mewtwo tag team, which was basically Regidrago in basic form, where it didn't have to be a dragon Pokemon. It was any Pokemon that could attack from the discard. So it wasn't even a liability on the bench. And it was just incredibly overpowered. You could power it up with Malamar, which was a single prizer that you would just put on the bench. And then it got even crazier when Trevenant Dusknoir came out, which would just, automatically knock out something, and also choose 2 cards and discard. And you had Reset Stamp, and a bunch of cards that you could whittle them down. You had Marnie, bring them down to 2 cards. Like, you have all these different cards that end up coming in and combining before rotation happens, and it just gets insanely fast, insanely overpowered, and games are done too quickly. So because I actually stepped away from the game when Trevenant Dusknoir came out, because I was just like, this isn't fun anymore. So when I came back to VMAXs at 3 prizes, and it was Jolteon. That was a big reason why I came back. It was Jolteon versus Mew. I was like, okay, cool, this is fun. Games are still going by pretty quick. And then they went away. And I felt like the format actually felt pretty good at 2 prizes. There were a lot of different decks that you could play. Control was kind of in there, not really, but that's a whole other topic in terms of whether Control makes a format healthy or not. And now I'm a little worried. I was incredibly excited for Megas to come back, and I do want to see them have new Mega Pokemon, have some good stuff out there, but I do feel like the games are going to go by super quick. And I think that that's good in a sense because we don't get ties. I think ties are awful for the game. But in terms of a power level, it just doesn't seem like it's going back. It feels like it's just staying unhealthy.
Yeah, this is where I'll argue it though, right? So why is Garchomp BX with the tool 400 HP? Why is that okay? Because it's a
Which one?
Prizer? I think that makes it.
Well, I think that's different. Well, I guess that's an interesting point. But also, Garchomp gives up 2 prize cards. I think the problem.
But that's better. Like, that
in theory, in terms of what he's saying, yeah. But which card is it again? Because I don't remember this one.
It's Cynthia's Garchomp has 340 HP, and then there's a tool card, the Power Band, that gives Cynthia's Pokemon extra 60 HP.
Yeah, it's
so in theory you connect those. Yeah,
that's their way of trying to have you play something that's not a mega, but in order to counteract that, you just have to go more HP. Like, you're just going to keep going higher and higher in health. And that means that the damage has to increase as well. Like, there's no scaling it back. Like, it's just going to continue to go up and up. Like, you're just going to eventually we're going to have like 1,000 HP Pokemon.
Yeah, like those gold card joke cards you see on
they're going to eventually become real.
It's going to become real. But I'll say you can kind of see that happen. You've been able to sort of see that happening now because look at Pikachu EX. It does 300 damage as an attack. Like, that's absurd. Yep. Like and it's a relatively not hard move to power up under the right circumstances.
And it also doesn't knock everything out.
Exactly. Yeah.
Which is
so
nuts too.
As long as we
Yeah.
don't get another ADP, that's all I can ask. Just no ADP tag team, no extra prize card off of a GX attack, please, for the love of God.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard. Like as someone that's a newer player post COVID, I played a VMAX deck, so I may have a little bit of bias here. I think it's hard to I think I understand people that are frustrated because, like Brad was saying, the game felt like it was in a good spot right now. People were saying all we really need is a bench barrier Pokemon, which we're getting in the May set with Shaman coming back. So I think people were kind of looking forward to the power level kind of creeping back down again because the V-Stars really overstayed their welcome, and the Sword and Shield block in general is not going to be looked at very fondly by a lot of people because of how strong some of these cards were. So it felt like they were kind of starting to get the ship right again. But Brad was alluding to, is that you have to entice more people to want to come back, which means the numbers have to go up, and in proxy, you have to, make the Pokemon that you play, they have to have bigger drawbacks, I guess, in a sense.
I think this Journey Together's format is going to be looked at, be like, that was Pokemon had it right.
Yeah, I think it will.
I think early Scarlet and Violet too. I think, I think a lot of the early format, before things kind of get a little haywire and out of hand, I think a lot of that stuff's going to be looked back at as very fond, very fond in the eyes of most people. When Chen Pao was the best deck, man, that was fun. That was a lot of fun. But I think at the same time, people kind of need to calm down a little bit. We've only gotten 3 cards revealed. We've gotten 2 Mega Pokemon, and Electro Power is coming back. It's basically it's Orange Gatorade which is disrespectful. Like, they're really gonna make Luke. I understand it's because he's a fighting type, but you're really gonna give bro the worst flavor of Gatorade to power himself up.
It actually looks like a Powerade.
That's that's the joke I made initially. It looks like a Powerade bottle. I'm sorry I said Gatorade. I apologize.
Don't disrespect Gatorade like that.
Water sucks. Gatorade's better.
Water sucks.
So I think we have to see where the rest of this goes. I think my biggest problem with VMAXs in general, as someone that played a VMAX deck, they're very boring. They're very straightforward decks. There's no real you don't have a lot of flexibility for gameplay because they only do one thing. They have a lot of HP. They hit something in front of them for a big amount of damage, and that's kind of it. I'm looking at these cards here, they read really scary, but they're kind of boring. 270 can attack the next turn, 50 damage for all the psychic energy attached. There's just better ways of doing damage, and I don't even want to have to think about Dusknoir, Briar with Charizard, take 4 prize cards. Your game's over in 5 minutes. That can of worms. I haven't quite gotten to yet, but.
And I think one of the interesting things that I don't know why that procked my mind in this way, but there's a lot of I feel like single prize decks just aren't a thing anymore.
That's what I was going to next. Yeah.
What you just said there kind of reminded me of, and a lot of people that played during the Malamar format, especially in this area, knew how incredibly toxic those mirrors were. But there was a variation of it, which was a spread Malamar version, where you would take a Tapu Koko and it would spread damage through the entire board, and you could either hit harder because of it on specific certain Pokemon, or you could take a Tapu Lele, take all the damage, throw it onto something. And there were a couple different ways that the spread damage could take effect in terms of getting knockouts and displacing them and making things harder for them. And it felt like it was just a different aspect of the game rather than beat stick. And trust me, I love my beat stick decks. I love not thinking and just head to cardboard and just go boom. I either win or I lose. It's fun. It's relaxing. It's nice. But there are times where I want to think a little bit because that's what we're playing this card game for, right? I want to be able to play some strategies, play something different, and not have to rely on playing control to do so. I want to still do damage, still take knockouts, but do them in a different way. And it feels like Pokemon hasn't ventured that way since the spread deck, and I don't know if that's necessarily because of the cards that are being printed or if because people aren't necessarily willing to take that risk and try something different. I'm not 100% sure because I haven't been looking at every single card that comes out, but it felt like in the past there was a lot of content that was being made in terms of counter decks, counter meta decks that would constantly come out, and I would try them, and I would terrorize locals with them, and it was a lot of fun. And there's not really that much to copy pasta off of anymore because no one's really trying those types of archetypes. And I think that that's the one thing that is suffering with these bigger numbers. It's harder to do that because if you're going to do spread damage, it's either not doing enough damage because everything has too much HP, and if you're going to increase the damage, then you're just instantly knocking everything out, and then that deck's going to be too powerful.
Yeah. It's a tough balance to have to engage with. I hope that one prize decks aren't dead because those are some of my favorite type of decks to play.
Yeah.
I love like Scrimblow Tiny Guy decks. It'd be cool if they brought back like a deck like a Pokemon like Single Strike Beedrill, where it's just like, oh, if you're
Tom's favorite card.
Yeah, exactly. Single prize Pokemon. You have to get them in a way in a different and interesting way, and then they have an attack that like, oh, if X Pokemon is if your opponent's Pokemon is an X or Y type of Pokemon, then it's automatically knocked out. Which is like, I think there's creative ways to do that. And again, we won't know what this looks like until we get the rest of the card pool. Obviously, we have the older Mega Evolution Pokemon to look back on, but from everything that I've read and from people I've talked to, a lot of those cards stunk, especially because they ended your turn when you evolved, unless you had the Spirit Links attached.
Yep.
And even then, like I think Mega Gardevoir and I think Mega Manetric is the one that comes up a lot of what people talk about. Like, if some of those cards existed now with what we have in the future, they'd be kind of busted. I think it's like the Mega Charizard Y that has like a 6 energy attach costs. It's just like, oh yeah, just evolve 2 Charizard EXs. You can power that up in no time. But
they should have. I still stand by what I said on earlier episodes, where they should have made it like the level X, where you had to evolve in the active for it to work.
Yeah,
I agree.
Smarter. I got a serious question for you guys. Have you guys tried the Crunchwrap sliders from Taco Bell?
I
have not yet.
I just ordered some.
You have to keep us posted on how they are. I've heard good things.
I thought about it a couple of nights ago, but I went for the classic crunch wrap because I didn't want to crap my pants at 1 o'clock in the morning.
That's fair.
I've been on the grilled cheese burrito binge as of lately. That thing is delicious.
Can't go wrong with that. They got once we get Taco Bell EX, then it's over. For
it's over.
Yeah. So safe to assume we're probably not getting these cards until way late. This is probably going to be part of the World's announcement. I think we'll probably get these as like our September set next year, maybe is what I would imagine.
Yeah, probably.
Once we get Legends, that'll steamball a lot faster. And something we haven't really touched on yet. The last thing before we get into the Squawker seas. My only thing is I don't like that they don't evolve from the Pokemon they Mega Evolve from.
That's a little odd.
Because that's not even like a core mechanic to the game. Like Riolu does not evolve into Mega Lucario, it evolves into Lucario. I understand mechanically that would be impossible to maintain. Like, you'd turn a stage 3 into a stage 4 Pokemon technically. Like, you just never be able to get off the ground that way. But like there could have been, I don't know. That just feels like disingenuous to like the spirit of the card to what the cards are. But
the only not correct way, the only fun way to look at it, and a lot of people might hate this because I know there's a lot of feud between these two franchises, but I love both of them, so this is a fun one for me. It's just Warp Digivolution. That's all.
Oh, I guess that's true.
What?
George's never played Digimon before.
George never played Digimon?
I love Digimon, bro.
If I showed you a picture of a Digimon right now, would you know what it looks like?
Yeah, bro. I know the
So it's when Agumon Warp Digivolves into War Greymon. That's all we're doing here.
I just never understood why the one cat evolves into an angel. That's
that was a weird one.
That's a good question. I don't know.
What did the cat? Was there a cactus Digimon?
Yeah.
There was, and it evolved into a lily.
Yeah, I like that guy.
It looks
which
like,
was cool.
It looks like Marcactus or whatever the Pokemon is.
They just released a magic card that looks like that Digimon. I don't know why I can't remember. Togemon? Yeah, Togemon.
Yeah, there was a just a quick tangent on Digimon real quick. I remember I was staying at my aunt and uncle's house for like a week when I was in like grade school for the summer. And we went to like a Blockbuster, like Hollywood Video type place, and they knew I liked Pokemon, but they didn't have any Pokemon DVDs. So I rented like 2 seasons of Digimon, and it was like the one where it's just like there's like a gear that flies into like the back of the Digimon.
Yeah,
and, like, makes them evil. I just vividly remember it was just so graphic watching this thing fly out of the back of what are essentially like giant stuffed animals. It was very strange. It was fun.
It's just a little jarring thinking about it from a kid's perspective, but Digimon was great. Anime was great.
Sounds
big
weird.
fan. That being said, I think that brings us into our next segment. Everyone's favorite this or that question game, Squawk or Seize, where we each alternate, this or that questions, open it to the field, and get some opinions on things that nobody asked for. In this week's episode, I figured it'd be fun to tackle a subject that everyone talks about once or twice in their lives. And it's topical considering that Mega Evolutions are coming back, which means the possibility of new Pokemon getting Mega Evolutions.
So real quick.
Yes,
Are we
let's
talking
clarify.
about the cards or the video game?
I think in general, I think in the video game makes the most sense. But just like a Pokemon, it would be cool to get a Mega Evolution, which means they'll probably get in the card form anyway. So
I don't think I know what doesn't.
So here's what you do: you pull up the Bulbapedia page of Pokemon with Mega Evolutions, and then you pick a Pokemon that's not that.
Pokemon with Mega Evolutions.
Yeah, I'm excited. I think the Mega Evolutions are a very were a fun concept when they came out.
Yes, it's my favorite gimmick, honestly.
I think it's a great gimmick, honestly. I really came around to things such as the regional variants. I also think those are home runs.
I love
Mega
those.
Evolutions. I find to be very enjoyable. I'll never forget when they showed what Mega Mewtwo Y looked like. And it was just like, oh my god, it's Mew 3. And then it actually wasn't Mew 3. It was actually just a different type of Mew. Mewtwo,
Some of these Megas look insane, bro.
Yeah, they're kind of nuts. Aesthetically, like, these guys are in their bag sometime. Obviously, some of that...
sick.
Yeah. Mega Absol is so cool. Like, aesthetically, it's really cool. Mega Tyranitar looks awesome. I forgot some stolen valor for one of my favorite Pokemon, Mega Glalie. I'm a big Glalie enjoyer. I think it's so funny that he got a Mega Evolution.
My absolute favorite Mega was Mega Swampert, just because, and when I made the PAX Pokemon League Hall of Fame back in 2015 for the first time, that was the ORAS meta. So it was a singles meta, so I was able to do a rain team with Mega Swampert, and I called him Jay Cutler because I didn't know any better, and not based off the quarterback Jay Cutler, the bodybuilder Jay Cutler.
Wait, there's two Jay Cutlers?
There are two Jay Cutlers.
You know this?
What? Is the other one also married to Kristen Cavallari, or was at the time?
Don't believe so.
I also don't believe they're married anymore, so good for them, I guess. All right. I think I'll kick things off. Well,
all right.
So I think I'm just gonna rip the Band-Aid off. I think it's one that everybody has been clamoring for a while. Squawk or Seize potential Pokemon for Mega Evolution, Flygon.
100% need that. So what is that? Am I squawking it? Yes, I'm squawking it. I don't even remember.
It's just Flygon is a Pokemon that's screaming to get
it needs it.
Yeah, make him look like a giant dragonfly, and then make him a bug type or something. I think people have been clamoring. That's another thing about Mega Evolutions that are fun. It kind of course corrects certain Pokemon, at least temporarily. I believe Altaria goes from becomes part fairy type when it Mega evolves, which is cool. I just think you can have fun with some different type combinations with that. So just make a bug dragon type. That'd be cool. I think Flygon that's a good one.
All right. Let me see here. What would be cool? What about? Oh, we'll just keep it with this, with common theme of earlier. Zoroark.
Ooh, Mega Zoroark would be sick.
I could be into that. How do you make Zoroark look more evil? I think that's what or what if it just Mega evolves into its Hisuian type?
No, it would be sick if it got green hair like N.
Oh my god.
Speaking of that, I watched a whole theory about N being a Pokemon, and some people are creeps out there.
Yeah.
Trivia question. Yeah.
Have you seen this?
Yeah, it's sick stuff.
But
I'm
Gator?
good. I'll pass.
I mean, you've never played Pokemon Black and White, so like, do you know like the lore behind N and like
A little bit. One of these days I'll finish it. I keep getting like halfway through, and then I never finish the story.
He's supposed to be adopted, but I think Gatus is shameful of his weird hobbies on the weekend.
Do you guys know what N's real name is?
No.
Natural Harmonious Gropus. So
what?
Yeah, it's a thing.
What?
Interesting.
All right, Brad. Give us a Pokemon that you think would be cool if it had a Mega Evolution.
All right, I'm gonna break the rules on the first one, and try and break the bank for both me and Matt Tam, and say all of the evolutions get megas.
Oh, you know what? That would actually be really cool.
I agree.
Oh, that'd be cool. Okay, I could squawk that. I think that's an interesting concept to just give like all the evolutions have a Mega Evolution, but like they have like a. I guess that's how you can cover ground on like the other. George's Taco Bell is currently outside, right now, so we'll make this quick. We don't want to keep the man's steak crunch wraps cold. Yeah, I think that'd be cool. I think it'd be a fun way for them to give all the evolutions like the secondary types they're missing. Something, and also just to quickly talk about, do you think we're getting new evolutions? Like finally, maybe you think we're gonna get a new type of Eevee this next coming game? You don't?
I wish, but I don't think so.
I think we're getting it. I think we're getting the Dragon type Eevee.
When's the last time that we got a new evolution? What game? When did we get Sylveon?
It was X and Y.
There we go.
Just saying.
Some
weird stuff happens in France, man. they're doing some strange shit with the Eevees in France, man. I don't know. All right, passing it back to me to submit to the council a Pokemon that I think should get a Mega Evolution. And it's hard because so many of these Pokemon already like have things that are going for them. But ironically, this one does not. And I think it'd be really funny if it did. Is anyone open squawking or seizing the concept of Mega Pikachu?
Oh God, I'm seizing that one. 100% seizing that one.
He's just Pikachu, but he's got like 6 hats on. Or whatever.
Oh no!
Please no.
All right, I hate it too. It's fine. I'll play the winners. All right. Hit us one. All right, George will go do one more, and then Brad can do one more.
Okay.
I'm gonna go to a type that never really gets into a lot of love, so I think it would actually look really cool. Mega Genesect.
Oh, that's interesting. I would be very down for that. I believe there's only 2 mythical Pokemon that have.
Oh, that's a mythical Pokemon? I didn't know that. Okay, no.
No, is it? I think technically it's a mythical Pokemon. No, but Mewtwo has mythical Pokemon. Like Mewtwo has a Mega.
So Mewtwo has a Mega.
Yeah, Rayquaza has a Mega. That actually makes a lot of sense. What's your brain image of a Mega Genesect look like?
I would think it's got to be like a different color, maybe like
3 heads.
Maybe black, like a matte black. And then like its cannon would be like on its arms instead of its back. It would have like dual.
That'd be kind of cool. I'm into that. I think it'd be cool. I think we'll see. If we're talking like actually like real candidates for that, I think we're probably getting a Mega Zygarde. I think that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I could see that.
I'm into that. All right, Brad, send us.
All right, I'm gonna stay in Gen 1. And we're going to finally get the form that makes sense for the evolution line. I don't know what's happening, but Mega Dragonite. And it's going to be blue and slender, and it'll actually make sense with the evolution line.
Oh, there's no Dragonite? For real?
Nope, there's no Mega Dragonite right now.
I'll squawk that. I think that and Flygon I think are complete locks. I feel
like that's so obvious. I don't know why they haven't had that already.
Because I feel like Dragonite is just so like criminally slept on when it comes to like any of the cool stuff. Like Mega Dragonite was like Mega Dragonite's been there for years. Like as a concept, you could have done like Gigant. Dragonite didn't get a Gigantamax form either, so it's
Nope.
like I think Dragonite gets often slept on as like a Pokemon that could get a cool form in some capacity and just doesn't get it. Instead, they make him deliver mail.
Imagine we get like Lance back too, and that's how they introduce the whole Mega form. He's like
Lance's Mega Elite. Dragonite EX. Holy shit! We broke it. We did it.
Yeah, it's crazy because they have Mega Salamence, but not Mega Dragonite.
Yeah, that annoyed me when that first came out.
Stupid as hell. Mega Salamence looks so stupid.
It kind of looks like Roaring Moon, but like
Roaring Moon, Matt's favorite,
but not feathers.
Yeah, he's just like God. It looks so weird. Like some of these Megas are pretty gas, but like I think Mega Sharpedo looks pretty stupid. Mega Lopunny is a crime against humanity. I think the person should be fired.
Yep.
How about Mega Pidgeot EX? And you get
I thought Mega Pidgeot EX looked kind of nice, but I think Mega Glalie is insanely dumb. I hate it. That's like the one Mega I don't like. Glalie. I like Glalie as a Pokemon. I don't like Mega Glalie. I just
no, it's weird. Weird candidate for a Mega. They made that one just for me. I'm just looking forward to I hope they make because there's a lot of Mega Evolution Pokemon. I would be shocked if they made Megas like EX Pokemon for all of these cards because I don't think they made Megas for all of the original Megas. That being said, Sceptile is one of my favorite Pokemon of all time. I will be locked the fuck in to play a Mega Sceptile EX deck because I absolutely like Sceptile is so cool, and I would very much like a playable Sceptile, please, as a treat for me. That's going to be it for this week's edition of Squawk or Seas, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks so much for... So, Brad, thank you again so much for hanging out with us this week, for giving us your wise observations as to what we could be looking forward to. But we don't have to worry about this yet because Megas technically aren't real yet and they can't hurt us. So,
correct.
But instead, I will be playing Gardevoir to League tomorrow. I got this build. I'm building it right now on my desk as we speak. So
I'll be playing this deck. Oh wait, wrong game.
Yeah, that's a 2-piece. So
you don't want to see me come in. It's the freest matchup of all time.
Just literally leave me alone. See you around 1 tomorrow. Brad, let the people know where they can find you if they want to be locked in with what you do on the internet.
Denki Duck or at Denki Duck DenkiDuck on all platforms, and for some weird reason, it's at Denki Duck VO voiceover on Twitter or on X.
If you want to see some, it's Twitter. Come on, who are we kidding? What are you doing here? If you want to see some dank memes and swole content, Brad is ripped to shreds. So we love to see it. Georgie, let the people know where they can find you before you go shovel Taco Bell in your mouth.
Ponyball Champ, PNYBTL Champ on the X format or platform. I mean. I'll be definitely posting more post-rotation stuff. Definitely trying to lock in before Atlanta. So look forward to Brad and you testing some more as we lead up to Atlanta. So,
yeah, I'm finally deconstructing all my decks. I'm ready to take Lugia out back and put her to sleep. So,
damn,
that's fine. There's a cup happening this weekend. I thought about it. I'm like, I can't do it. It's so bad right now. I can't do it to myself. You can follow me on Twitter at KoopaNJ and Instagram if you want to do that. Yeah, I'm just kind of around for right now. I don't got a lot of plans on the horizon. I got some commentary stuff coming up later this month for Pokemon that I can talk about at a later date. But just follow me on the internet. I'm there. I'm shit posting and doing all that fun stuff.
You post while you shit?
Oh yeah. What are you, crazy? Every day. Follow the show at Squawkcast. Check us out on Spotify and YouTube. Like and subscribe. Do all that.
Comment.
Yeah. Get the engagement up.
Call me stupid.
Yeah,
it'll be fine.
I'll call you stupid right now. No, I won't. I can't do that.
Fine.
We'll catch you guys next week for some more Squawk or Seas goodness. Have yourselves a wonderful night, everyone, and we'll catch you next time.
See you later. I'll see you another time.
Thanks, guys. See you.